Want to unlock a higher IELTS score? Well, there's one key you absolutely cannot ignore, and that's the verb. Welcome to the Explainer by IELTS Guide Phil on YouTube. Today, we're diving deep into the engine room of the English language. We're talking about verbs to give you that power you need to smash your exam. All right, so here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to tackle why verbs are so darn important. Then we'll build up your grammar toolkit, decoding all the different verb types and getting those tenses down. After that, we'll look at the common mistakes and how to fix them before we tie it all together with some killer strategies to boost that IELTS score. Okay, first things first, let's really get into why verbs are the absolute bedrock of your score. Seriously, getting this right, it changes the whole game. So why do they matter so much for your score? It's a huge question, right? And the answer is actually pretty simple. Verbs. They directly hit your score for grammatical range and accuracy, and that's for both writing and speaking. When you master them, you can get your ideas across with the kind of clarity and sophistication that examiners are literally trained to spot. Okay, so let's break it down. At its very core, a verb is the word that just brings a sentence to life. It could be an action, like writes, a state of being, like seems, or something that just happens, like rained. The rule couldn't be simpler. No verb, no complete sentence. It is that fundamental. All right, now that we've got the why sorted, let's start building your grammar toolkit. We're going to decode the different types of verbs. Think of these as your essential tools for building those powerful, high-scoring sentences. So check this out. The big difference here is between doing and being. You've got your action verbs like runs or think. They're all about doing something. Then you have stative verbs like know or believes, which describe a state or a condition. Now, here's the golden rule, the key takeaway. Stative verbs are pretty much never used with that ing ending. I mean, you'd never say, I am knowing it, right? Of course not. You just say, I know it.
In this slide, it perfectly shows another key idea. A transitive verb, it needs an object to receive the action. Like she reads what? A book, see? But an intransitive verb, it doesn't need an object. He sleeps is a complete sentence all on its own. And here's a little fun fact for you. Some verbs, like run, can actually be both. She runs every morning, that's intransitive. But she runs a business, now that's transitive.
Okay, to finish up our toolkit, let's quickly cover these super important support verbs. First, you've got linking verbs. They link the subject to more info, like in she is a doctor. Then there are auxiliary or helping verbs, which help you show tense, like in they have finished. And finally, modal verbs, which add all that great nuance, like ability with can or giving advice with should. Just think of them as the support crew for your main verbs. All right, time for the big one. Let's talk verb tenses. Seriously, mastering these is how you show the examiner you've got that grammatical range and accuracy down. This is a massive part of your score, so listen up. This table here just breaks it all down so nicely. Look at that usage column. That's your cheat sheet right there. So for habits and facts, you're going to use the present simple. I work at a bank. For something happening right now, it's the present continuous. I am studying. And for an action that kicked off in the past but still matters now, you need the present perfect. They have lived here. See? It's that kind of precision that just screams grammatical control to the examiner. Okay, let's get super practical now. We're going to take those common mistakes and flip them into points of excellence. Think of this next part as your personal troubleshooting guide for the errors that trip up IELTS candidates the most. You guys, this slide is pure gold. It doesn't just point out the mistake, it tells you exactly why it's wrong and then gives you the easy fix. He, go, that's a classic subject-verb agreement issue. I have saw, wrong verb form. She can sings, nope, that breaks the modal verb rule. And he is know, that's misusing a stative verb. Honestly, if you study this table, you will start wiping these common errors from your English for good. And here's your quick do's and don'ts guide. Think of this as your cheat sheet for success. On the do side, always match your subject and verb. Use the right tenses and please vary your verbs. On the don't side, these are the traps to avoid. Don't mix up your tenses for no reason. Don't overuse phrasal verbs in your formal writing, and don't forget those tricky, irregular past forms like go, went. Okay, so we've got all this great knowledge, but how do we actually use it in the exam? Let's talk strategy. This is where the magic happens, where your grammar skills turn directly into a higher band score.
For writing task 2, your verbs are basically your power tools. You're going to use a nice mix of tenses to build those complex cause and effect arguments. You'll use modals like should or might to make your suggestions sound more formal and academic. And a big one, don't repeat the same verb again and again and again. Use synonyms. Show off that vocabulary range.
Then, in the speaking test, how you use your verbs is a huge sign of fluency. Using phrasal verbs naturally, like saying, I look forward to it, makes you sound way more natural, less like you're reading from a textbook. When you're telling a story, if you can switch smoothly between past and present tenses, that shows some serious control. And in part 3, when you use modals to speculate, like, well, it might improve if, that is a seriously high-level skill.
Okay, wow, that was a lot of information, I know. So let's see what's stuck. It's time for a little mini quiz to help you lock in everything we've just gone over. You ready? Okay, here are 3 sentences for you. I want you to think about how to complete them correctly. Number 1, she, and the verb is go, to the gym every morning. Number 2, they, verb is be, to Japan twice. And number 3, you, and the verbs are must go, to the doctor. Go ahead, take a second to think about it. And the answers are in. For number 1, it's goes. That's our subject-verb agreement. Number 2 is have been, using that present perfect tense. And number 3 is must go. Remember, modal verb plus the base form. So, how'd you do? Hey, even if you got one wrong, no worries. The most important thing is understanding why. That is exactly how you learn and get better.
Let's wrap things up with this really important insight from IELTS Guide Phil. Verbs are truly the heart of how we express ourselves. Once you master them, you get this amazing confidence to talk about any idea you want. And that confidence, that's your golden ticket to succeeding in the IELTS exam. So, to keep building on that confidence, here's what you should do next. Head over to IELTSGuidePhil.com and read the full original blog post that this whole explainer was based on. And, of course, make sure you're subscribed right here for more video explainers, and pop over and join the Facebook community for even more tips and support. Don't worry, all the links for that are right down in the description.
And hey, if you're ready to really take your prep to the next level with some personalized one-on-one feedback,
all you have to do is comment on this video to find out more about IELTS Guide Phil's online writing and speaking coaching service. It's truly the most direct way to get expert help that's tailored specifically for you. Thanks so much for watching.